I made this from Fussy Cuts, jelly prints, and scraps. Let me show you how. So I'm starting with Fussy Cuts from my Flower Shop collage book. This book is part of something I've been working on behind the scenes. It's a monthly kit where everything is designed to work together and gives you really easy starting points and suggested projects. This will be one of them that we're working on today. And what I did was just went through and picked out some flowers that I thought would be really fun for the vision that I had in my head. So once I finished all of my fussy cutting, I stored all of my scraps in this little box here where I've been collecting them because one of the cool things about this book is it is designed to make cool scraps. So flowers, things like that are printed on the front of the page. And then on the back is a cool pattern so that you can make even more cool stuff when you're done. I hate waste. I know we all love scraps, so that's why it's made this way. Now, next, I used some of my jelly printed papers that I had done on wet strength tissue paper and just some scraps I had laying around in my studio. I think this is from something I bought from Hobby Lobby. They wrap it in paper sometimes. That's what this paper is. And just played around with different textures. I had this vision in my head for these flowers that are just like really scrappy and kind of layered and funky and fun. And once I got my circles torn out, I started layering them, kind of seeing what I wanted my flowers look like, and then used my little circle hole punches. So it's like there's no way that I can properly tear little circles that are not going to look like a complete mess. I know myself well enough to know that. So I just played around a little bit more with some of my papers, and these are from a very old copy of Crime and Punishment, which I just felt like was kind of, I don't know, irreverent and ironic for such a flowery, fun layout. So I don't know. It just made me kind of happy to do that with these pages and give them a new life. You can see that I'm kind of trying to figure out the best way to work with these papers because they are so old and fragile. I found this book somewhere and it's falling apart. So I was like, that's really fun. And once I am done with using the papers in it, I plan to make it into a journal. But I just started using the paper, so that's going to be a while. And I just kept tearing out pieces and playing around with some of the scraps that I had laying around in my studio. Because that I had kind of an idea of what I wanted these to look like, and honestly, they turned out even cuter than I had envisioned them, and I think they pair really well with the fussy cuts, which you'll see coming in putting everything together here in just a minute. All right, here comes one of my favorite parts of this bouquet that I made. These are jelly printed papers, and I made them with the intention of using them as leaves. And I think they just turned out so cool. I love the visual textures of them. The one that I'm cutting the leaves out here, I used a sushi mat to kind of make these like stripy textures. And on the other one I end up using, I have a stencil that's like a wood texture pattern. And they just, what the layering and the colors I used turned out really, really cool. So I'm really glad that I have some more left to play with because I will definitely be using it again. And I just cut these out. I had kind of thought about embellishing them, but when I cut them out, I was like, actually, those are really great. And I don't think I need to do anything to them. They're really neat. And so once I got all of my pieces cut out, I went to my journal and I thought that this would pair really nicely with my little Gibson girl over here who is begrudgingly at her tea party. And again, like juxtaposed next to the Crime and Punishment flowers, I just feel like, I don't know, the whole thing just has like a really fun feel to me. Like, think about what's going through her head and like, is her mom like, watch your figure, don't eat too many macaroons? Or, her dad's talking about who he's going to marry her off to, or her grandmother is complaining about young women these days riding their bicycles around and getting sweaty, or, maybe she's just upset because she can't vote. Who knows? Maybe her corset's too tight. So I just felt like this little story I have going on in my head about this young woman sitting here, the bouquet with the Crime and Punishment papers just feels very fitting to me in my little story that I have going on up there. And so to cut the vase, I tried once to draw a shape, and I don't know what I was thinking because it was not symmetrical. So I went back and just cut out a piece from a piece of scrap paper that was the right shape and made it symmetrical, and then glued on this cute gingham. I love gingham so much. If you've been around here for a while, you probably know that. And then I just used a little scrap that I had laying around in my studio. And I just realized I forget this every time. Hi, my name is Maggie. I am the owner, designer, creator at Whimsy and Wonder Creative Co. If you're enjoying this video and you've made it this far, I would love it if you would like this video and hit that subscribe button so you get notified when I post more videos. All right, so back to the fun stuff. So I used my colored pencils and my Posca pens to just embellish these flowers a little bit and cute them up, add a little bit of more texture to it. And then I really love the way they pair with the fussy cut. I love the artist that has made these images. I really, really love her style, and I feel like it pairs really well with mine. And so, and with these collaged, scrappy paper flowers, I just feel like the whole thing is so fun. So I just embellished these a little bit and then kind of started playing around with them um, to figure out how I wanted them to sit in my little vase here. And once I got to a point where I was happy with it, I started gluing things down like you do. And then putting my little leaves on. I just think they look I just think they add so much. I think they look so cute poking out and they just really kind of pull the whole thing together for me. So I just decided where those were going to go and started gluing everything down. And then I was pretty much done. I just glued all of my flowers together and then I glued them to the paper and the base. You'll see that here coming up in just a second. And there we go. We're at the end. If you are somebody who feels a little bit intimidated by drawing, and you just like to like poke around with paper and try new things, like go check out my subscription box. I think it'll be for you. And uh, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.